Negotiations have reached a deadlock between Eskom and unions. You'll remember workers have embarked on an illegal strike. Earlier today, CEO Andre de Ruyter confirmed action will be taken against striking workers. Today, NUMSA and the National Union of Mine Workers are engaging with Eskom. According to some officials in the meeting, unions say the utility is taking a staggered approach. They say Eskom has proposed that the lowest earner, which is a worker, must get a higher percentage and the highest earner get a lower percentage. And all this must be done within the proposed 7% grade. But unions disagree. They want a 7% across-the-board deal. eNCA reporter Buleli Chwiti-Jones is following the wage dispute, and he joins us now live for an update. Bule, I know those talks are behind closed doors, but I'm wondering if anybody's whispering in your ears in terms of how it's going.
I don't know if whispering is the correct word to use, but yeah, of course, we've been trying to get, some sort of information that's going on inside, and we've been getting a bit of messages and details of what's unfolding that meeting. Maybe just a quick recap. You'd remember early in the morning we said unions want the 4 fundamental demands to be met by Eskom for their 40,000 workers who are currently depending on this meeting to be successfully concluded, which includes the apartheid wage gap to be addressed, the conditions of service, which speaks to the standby allowance and the overtime rates, the 2021 wage negotiations, and of course the 4,000 Rand housing allowance. That, of course, coupled with the proposed percentage that Eskom had put on the table, which is quite true, which is 7%. Remember, just yesterday as well, unions did, of course, say that was not the proposed percentage, dubbing it as fake news. But from what we're getting inside is that that's the percentage that's been put on the table by Eskom. And of course, like you've mentioned, what we're also getting is that they're now saying that Eskom is taking a staggered approach and isn't working within that 7% grade. And they are concerned that should this meeting not be concluded by today, it could just exacerbate the issue of load shedding across the country.
And Pule, what has been their response to the fact that Eskom does, offer essential services to South Africans, and actually that this strike is illegal?
Well, they're not quite listening to that kind of approach. They're saying that this has been a warning that's been sent out for a very long time, and therefore the only way the management of Eskom is through this approach of the unprotected strike. They believe that by this approach, Eskom will come to the table and give an update as to how their workers can be satisfied. And it seems as though the meeting is not going in quite a good direction that many would be expecting for it to go. Like that, introduction that you've just read out to say that before the meeting had adjourned, unions had disagreed that they want the staggered approach of a lower income worker getting a higher percentage and a higher income worker getting a lower percentage, but saying that the 7% proposal should be spread across the wage grade, meaning that they want an equal a percent which will speak to the wage grade of the workers. Apart from that, they're not discussing anything further, and they also want the 4 objectives that they've put on the table to be addressed adequately. I don't know, I'm just looking on my right-hand side. I think the meeting has adjourned for a break, and we did see a lot of police presence within this vicinity as well, trying to ensure that this meeting does not spiral out of control. And like I said earlier, about 40,000 workers are also relying on this meeting to see whether it will conclude successfully and speak to their demands. But when you zoom out, this is a national crisis. Many businesses, many households, like me and you, Masego, we're expecting that Eskom and the unions come to a better agreement to ensure that we're not impacted with the issue of load shedding.
All right, Buleli Chwiti-Jones with that report. And Bule, during the briefing, Andre de Ruyter, the CEO, said that they would actually take disciplinary action against those workers who embarked on the illegal strike. He also spoke about the possibility of a no work, no pay policy. So as soon as you are able to get that person you're trying to gesture to come closer to you, please just get us reaction in terms of that part of what the executive said. Buleli Chwiti-Jones in Johannesburg for us on that report.